How's it driving? Is it okay driving from here to,
I love driving.
not bad? Okay, good.
Yeah, I love driving.
Good.
Yes, I
We'll
love
ask you again in December.
No, I love driving. Like, I go to New Jersey on a weekend. It's a 7 hours drive,
Oh,
and after
wow.
that, I come back here. I love driving.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Ms. Bergen, do you have anything for us tonight?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Anything for council before we got a minute left? Anything before we go? Okay. And we'll. Is it 7? I don't know.
Now that
I
we're
got
done.
seven.
I have
now.
7 on the nose.
I got 7 on the nose. You
Mr.
ready?
President, why is that monitor in front of Jane's seat?
This is all,
Juvenile court.
we got all court stuff here. We got a little camera.
Kick Jane out.
Cell
I have this
phone.
walkie-talkie.
I got a phone.
So phone calls that come to work.
John's are making long distance phone calls all day long.
You have a question, you can phone a friend.
If anybody gets hungry, we'll order pizza. Pizza and a pizza at city council. We'll do all that. Okay. Oh, we're on. I'm sorry. I'm going to call the city council meeting for the city of Ashtabula to order. It is Monday, June 5th, 2023. If you would silence your devices, and at this time, if we would please stand for a prayer and a pledge.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Holman,
Present.
Mrs. Mills,
Here.
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo, Mrs. Foglio,
Here.
Mr. Crawford,
Here.
Mr. Spielman,
Here.
Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Ms. Cooper, Mrs. Augustin.
Here.
May we have a motion to excuse Miss Jane Haynes DeGiacomo from tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Crawford and a second by
Ms. Holman.
Ms. Holman. Thank you. Seconded by Mrs. Holman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will excuse Miss Jane Haynes DeGiacomo by a 6-0 vote. We are meeting the requirements of the Sunshine Law. I do not believe we will be having an executive session this evening. And so we will move forward with the approval of our minutes from our last meeting.
May 15th, 2023, regular council meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. by Council President Roskovich. Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Members present were Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Spielman, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Crawford, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Interim Finance Director Sheldon, and Clerk of Council Bergen.
I will move that we accept the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rosvick, second by Mrs. Foglio. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The minutes will stand by a 6-0 vote. Okay. At this time, I would like council to consider a request for a resolution recognizing the meeting of the USS Ashtabula. Their 2023 reunion is taking place here this weekend in our town. So we have a lot of visitors with us this week. And I believe Mr. Timonier, I think some of the counselors may be going to the, Mr. Spielman going. So somebody will present them with our resolution, and, maybe you two guys, recognizing we appreciate them being here in the city, and also, for their work, on the USS Ashtabula. It was pretty cool that we had a ship named after her town, so that was cool. So we'll request that resolution. I will make a motion for such.
Second.
Second by Mr. Spillman. Any discussion? I think I just need all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Anyone opposed? So we will have that resolution drafted by a 6-0 vote. Okay. Very nice. And when was that decommissioned? 83, you think?
I think it's in the resolution,
I
but
think it was like 83, and then I think 91, it was like scuttled off the coast of California to
Oh,
become
yeah?
like a reef or something.
Oh, yeah, they sunk it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess they shot it with a bunch of missiles and it never sank, so they had to go back out and blow it up again. to sink
did.
it, so.
yes, that's true.
I found all that on Wikipedia, so,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Wouldn't-
A
it
long
wouldn't
career,
sink. Yeah.
a long life of service that Ashtabula had.
And it was pretty tough at the end.
Yeah, it was.
Just like
Didn't
our
wanna sink.
towns. That's pretty cool, though. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to the manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I would like an ordinance to enter into agreement with Rocky Road Paving of Geneva, Ohio as the most responsive bidder to complete the 2023 Round 1 road restorations in the amount not to exceed $42,400. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 503 and from Fund 412.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an MOU with ASME Local 1197 to modify the position of engineering technician.
Mr. President? I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to authorize the sale of bonds in the amount of $860,000 for the purpose of paying the cost of the acquisition of a ladder truck for the fire department.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio and a second by Mr. Spillman. Okay, and we were talking before, I read in the paper yesterday, I think Brook Park was ordering a new fire truck, and it was a 36 to 48 month wait. So it was
Correct.
even longer than what we're waiting.
32 to 36.
Yeah, I think theirs was 36 to 48, because it's probably getting,
Might be a different manufacturer.
oh, that's
Yeah.
true too,
Could be.
yeah. Yeah, so- Okay, any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into a partnership with with Ashtabula County to file an application with the Ohio Development Services Agency to apply for CHIP grant funds on behalf of the city of Ashtabula.
Go ahead.
Move on the manager's request.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Spillman and a second by Mrs. Holman. Ms. Holman, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that by a 6-0 vote.
Lastly, need to declare some items obsolete. One model DSX 40 key telephone system, 11 DSX 22B display telephone phones, and a 1998 GMC truck.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Spillman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
That's all the ordinances I have to request. Just a couple of announcements. Tomorrow, the contractor who was awarded the 2023 paving project will begin work. They will begin milling in a lot of the different areas where we're doing roads. Just a note on, I know there's been a lot of questions as they've been doing the Route 20 project. But how this works is the contractor comes in, they will mill the road, and you'll see the castings of the manholes and storm grates that'll be above grade at that point. What we do is then we go around and look for any areas that need partial or full depth repairs. They'll begin to make those repairs, and then they put on what's called the intermediate course. So that's the stage that we're at on Route 20. So when we're out there doing the intermediate course, you will have those structures that will be sticking out of the ground a couple inches. At that point, any repairs that need to be made to those castings, those manholes, or the storm catch basins on the side of the road are done. The corner walk pads are installed at that time. Any roads that we do, we put in ADA compliant ramps. So those corridors are done at that time. And then after all that work is done, they come back and install the final course, which will then level everything off and bring everything up to those levels of where the manholes and the curbs, catch basins are located. So that'll be the same process they use for the paving project. It's a pretty tight and aggressive timeline that we have for that. It looks like they'll be doing the intermediate course right around June 15th, and then hopefully having the final surface course installed around July 18th through the 25th. Wrapping up the whole project by the end of July is the timeline that we've been given right now. So a lot of work will be being done in a very small amount of time. So please be cautious of the construction workers that are out there, not only on this project, but on the several different projects that we have going on, not only for the city, but for private individuals as well. I mentioned to council that it is my hope that at our next meeting on the 20th, I'll have all the final building documents for our purchase for our move, so that we can begin all of the fun stuff that comes along with that. And then we did receive some good news from ODOT. We have been working with them to move the 531 and the rest of Route 84 up on the schedule. They originally had this scheduled for the year 2027. As most of us know, that stretch cannot wait that long, so they've agreed to bump this up on their schedule to next summer, as long as we make a commitment in January for our portion of the funds, which we can do. So that will be from Norwood Drive on West 9th, we know it better as West 9th Street, from Norwood Drive east. That will include from West 9th on Lake Avenue all the way down to Bridge Street, that section of Lake Avenue. It will also include Bridge Street and then up East 6th Street heading east. And it will also include all the way out to Maruba, so past Route 11 near Lakeshore Park, that entire stretch. And then also from Austinburg Road all the way down to the tracks here on Main Avenue, that stretch of Route 84 will be part of that project as well. So we're excited about that. And then shortly after that, the Collins Boulevard project that we received small city grant funding for will be done. And right now they're working on the section of Route 84 between West 46th Street and the tracks on State Road. So that portion's getting done right now as well. Crews have been out doing a lot of different work. Thankfully, with the weather again, mowing, we've been able to slow down a little bit on that because it's not growing as much with the lack of rain. But we are out there doing potholes. We were doing that all day today. Our pothole hotline 440-992-7100. 992-7100. Leave a message on there. We won't call you back unless there is an area that we have more questions on, but we will add it to our lists. We do have quite a few lists that we're out doing. So whenever we have the ability to get guys out there and to get hot mix from the plants, we do go out and we do patching. So today we were on it most of the day. Mr. President, that's all I have for my report right now.
Okay, but, Ferry Drive, because that's a different entity, is that being done by our pavers who are doing
No,
our other streets, or that's somebody else?
So right now, we're still waiting for grant agreements to come from HUD in order for us to get moving on that. We have everything in line, ready to go, but that project still has to be bid out.
Okay, so
that
we're
won't be until a fall project, and we don't
Right.
want to interfere with the business that's going on at the
That's
other end.
different
So
pavers and
it's
everything.
different. It'll be a totally different project. Yes.
Okay, good.
But the goal is still to get that done this fall.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. President, Mr. Manager, it's been a while since we've had a Petman update. Do we have any new news or anything about them?
Had a conference call with them about a week or two ago. Still maintaining all their permits, still have everything working on all agreements. They're still paying a bunch of leases that are in the area. We don't have a restart date yet. I'm hoping within the next month or two we will. That's the last update I have.
And Mr. Manager, if we could just, we mentioned that there's no longer leaf pickup bags are no longer being done. That's over for the summer.
That's correct.
And then if I could just mention, this used to be something Mr. Franklin would mention, and I know it was I heard him last weekend with the drought. We're in a drought, so people need to really be aware of shooting off fireworks, because with the grass and everything being so dry, that's probably not a good thing to do.
No, and
maybe you could talk to that.
yeah, we did hear some over the Memorial Day weekend, and even last night we heard some. My little investigation where I found them coming from was Saybrook, which I honestly don't know if Saybrook followed the same guidelines we did. But in the city of Ashtabula, you are not permitted to shoot off fireworks, period. Not for any type of holiday. I know the state law has changed, but council, through the recommendation of the fire department and my office, we said no, we did not want it. So if we do catch people, I wish Celia was here because they do a good job of telling that, there are fines and citations that will be issued if we catch it.
Mr. President?
Yes.
One more thing I want to ask. Open burning and bonfires. When you see that, who do you call? Not Ghostbusters, but
Well,
people ask me, do I call the police? Do I call the fire department? I don't know what to tell them.
The best thing to do would be to call the non-emergency number. However, there are certain, depending on how they're doing it, you are allowed to have small pits to like a small little fire in your backyard. Full-blown type bonfires and things like that, no, that is not acceptable. On the city's website, under the fire department, there is a section that says the city's open burn policy, and in that you will see what those regulations are. It's the fire is limited to 2 feet in diameter and 2 feet high. Okay, so if there's anything bigger than that, that's an issue. It must not produce smoke or odors that are offensive to neighbors or anybody around. The fires must be constructed in the rear of the yard of the home, an acceptable distance from combustible materials. Don't put it right next to the house, obviously. And you can't leave it unattended and left smoldering. You do need to put it all the way out. Clean seasoned wood or charcoal can be used for the fuel, but burning leaves and twigs and other yard waste is not prohibited. But that whole document is on the city's website under the fire department, so people can look at that. If there are issues that are outside of that, yes, give us a call and we'll make a visit.
Do they call the fire department or do they call?
I would call the non-emergency number and then they'll be dispatched.
Okay.
Yep.
The fire department then?
They call the non-emergency police number.
Police department,
Yes.
okay. All right.
If you want to call the fire department too, if the guys are there, obviously they'll answer, but the best way to do is just call the non-emergency number.
Okay.
And they can
Thank
be
you.
dispatched. Sure.
Anything else for the manager? Thank you, Mr. Timonier. Ms. Cooper is not with us this evening. She is Ms. Augustin.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Nothing to report. Thank you very much. And Ms. Bergen?
I do not have a report.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports, economic development, Ms. Mills?
We have a meeting on June 13th, and we have the ADDA coming in to speak.
Okay, very good. Okay, Mrs. Foglio, Finance?
Our next finance meeting is June 16th at 8:30 upstairs in the conference room.
Okay. And Mrs. Mills, your meeting will be up there also, right?
Correct.
All the
Yes.
meetings are upstairs in the Augie Pugliese room. Public Works?
Our next scheduled meeting is June 26th at 5 p.m.
Okay, and Safety Forces. You have a report, Mike?
I do have a
Okay,
report.
oh, good, thank you.
So Safety Forces met on Monday, May 22nd, upstairs in the Augie Police Conference Room. From the police department, Chief Stell reported there's nothing unusual about the calls for service, just the normal uptick that happens with nicer weather. He did point out that within a six-week period, the city had 3 homicides, which tied up a lot of the department's manpower, but they have made arrests in all 3 of those homicide cases. And he stated that things were moving along pretty well. I'm going to cover the fire department at the end because I have something that needs to come out of committee to the full council. The city solicitor's report, she stated that they filed about 1,530 criminal cases last year, and they have currently filed 647 this year, so they're on track to hit at least last year's numbers. There were 2,918 traffic cases filed, which she believes include simple traffic stops like stoplights to OVIs, and this year they have had to file 1,346, so they are also on track to hit last year's numbers. And she said summer's the busy season for traffic stops. So John did ask the city solicitor what happens with the guy that shot up the O'Reillys. So I'm just going to read what she said because I'm sure there's some interest in this. The case would end up in county court, not our court. So what has happened, and this is from a week ago, so some things might have changed since then, but she stated that what has happened to him so far is that they have filed criminal charges with the Ashtabula Municipal Court. The charges include 1 count of aggravated murder and 1 count of attempted aggravated murder. They charged the 2 counts to keep him in jail, but there will be many more when it gets to the county. He is entitled to a preliminary hearing within 10 days of being arrested. When they got to the preliminary hearing, his public defender went to speak with him. Generally, they hold the hearing and the case goes to the county, or they waive the hearing and it goes to the county. However, the public defender's office for the past 2 murder suspects has requested competency examinations. They are trying to challenge their mental status right here in our court. That is why there are 2 individuals still in our jail, as these evaluations have to be done to determine if they can assist their counsel during the proceedings. Once they bond the case over, it goes to the grand jury, gets arraigned, and the county takes over, and they will be transferred to the county jail from there. Ms. Cooper pointed out that this is pretty much the process for all felony cases, with the exclusion of the competency exams. So that's, I'm sure people are curious, so that's, like I said, a week ago, that's where we stood on, or that's where she stood on that case. So going back to the fire department, so Chief Gruber, his monthly report, his calls for service are all about the same. But we did have Steve Chase. I think he's a captain. So Captain Chase came in, and he does the code enforcement for the fire department. And he brought a whole slew of changes that he went through the revised code and has, 40 pages worth of suggestions to change. So he said he knew that the assistant solicitor was going through the housing code, and he decided to go through the fire code at the same time. What he's doing, most of the changes that are making are just bringing our code in line with the Ohio revised code. So it's taking out a lot of the language that's in our fire code and just replacing it with the Ohio revised code, because it was just doubled up. So that's the bulk of what he has done. And then I know the email went out with all the changes, and he's got it really broken down real easy. So when I request that this come out of committee, everybody will have time to look at all the proposed changes before we actually vote on it. Let's see. Like I said, he went through and cleaned it up, made it user-friendly. So that's what I'm going to ask for in a minute. And then we also talked about the fire damage security fund, which when a house burns, the insurance is supposed to have some money set aside to help tear down the structure. Evidently, the laws are written that you only have to have like $2,000 in insurance or something. It's not enough money to tear down a house. So there's discussion, and it's nothing we could change right now, so it has to happen at the state level. So there's discussion going on about that, because I know there's a lot of burned structures that you see around the city. So the problem is there's not enough money that goes into that escrow to help tear down the building. So things need to change at the state level. So that's being talked about, just for everybody's information. That's nothing we can really do right now. Let's see, what else did we cover? And I think that was pretty much all we covered. So I am going to request an ordinance to make changes to the fire prevention code as recommended by the fire department and Captain Steve Chase. So I'm going to request that we bring that out of committee to the full council for next meeting.
You need a second? I'll second that.
Okay.
We have a motion by Mr. Spillman and a second by Mrs. Foglio to bring the fire code changes to the full council or to adopt them by the full council. Is there any discussion? Like Mr. Spillman said, we have all received those, and they made them very user-friendly. You could see the changes. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
President, I'd like to thank Captain Chase for all the work that he did, because like you said, it was 40 pages, and a lot of work was put into that. So thanks to Captain Chase for doing that.
There's an enormous amount of work that went into it,
Yes.
so. I know I kind of glossed over it, but it's not because he didn't work hard on it. It's a tremendous amount of work.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? By a 6-0 vote, we will have that ordinance adopted at our next meeting. Okay?
And that was all we covered. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 26th at 8:45, and that will be upstairs in the Augie Pugliese conference room.
Do you have the dates for the safety town?
Oh, shoot, I did mark that on. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back. Thank you, John. I did miss that page. So one thing, going back to Chief Stell from the police department, he did point out that Safety Town is moving right along. He said they've raised $17,000 so far, and they started off with $900 in the bank. He said the Elks Club provided a $4,000 donation from a grant that they had applied for. And he said that 90% of the businesses that he has asked for donations have donated to Safety Town. So that's a real nice thing, and that's coming up soon. I don't have the date of that on here right now, but so kudos to them for getting that Safety Town back off the. And one more thing, geez, I'm sorry, I forgot this too. Chief Stoll also stated that Officer D'Angelo is out doing his foot patrols in the Main Avenue area. So if you see Officer D'Angelo out there, he's out there walking his beat. And I guess on the first day he made an arrest. So he's keeping Main Avenue safe for us. And I think that's all now.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spillman. Very good. Okay. Planning Commission and Historic Preservation Commission. I think I reported on these meetings last week, maybe. Did I report 3 townhomes being built on West 4th Street? Did I mention that? That came out of the Architecture Review Board. The Architecture Review Board approved signs for the new restaurant in the old Doxy Deli building. They approved signs. I think it's called the Galley something, Bridge Street Galley. So they approved signs for that, and then they approved the plans for 3 townhomes that are going to be built on 4th Street, which is, up Franklin Hill a little bit, and on the corner of Franklin and 4th. There'll be 3 townhomes built. They'll mirror the ones on Bridge Street, the last 3 that were built, the non-brick ones. They'll mirror those. The only difference will be that the roof, instead of being flat roofs, there'll be A-framed roofs because that street's more residential than Bridge Street. So the Architecture Commission approved that. So maybe we'll see that development taking place pretty soon. They seem to feel there's a market for this, and so good for them, and good for us. So, all right, that was only it.
Mr. President, just going back to Safety Town, if you wouldn't mind, I did find the dates there. So registration needs to be turned in by June 30th. Folks can pick up a registration form at their school or by contacting the police department at 440-992-7156. Again, you can get those forms at the police department or at the school. Registration needs to be turned in by June 30th, and then the actual Safety Town is from July 10th through the 21st.
Okay, 10th through 21st, okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, we've come to the legislative part of our agenda. If anyone would like to comment on tonight's legislation, now would be the time to do it. We are authorizing a contract with Rocky Road Paving, a contract with Xylem for the supplier of the UV systems for the water pollution plant. We are having a tax abatement for a dwelling on Walnut Boulevard, a resolution honoring the 2023 USS Ashtabula reunion, memorandum of understanding with our local AFSCME union. We are having legislation for bond council and for the CHIPS partnership with the Ashtabula County. If anyone would like to comment on any of those items, now would be the time to do that.
Mr. President, I'd
Yes.
like to make a comment on legislation C 2023-82.
Okay.
I remain in disagreement for tax abatements at 100%. I have stated previously that I too want to incentivize new construction and renovations. However, we also have to make investments in our schools. Many of you know of budget deficits in the schools, and tax abatements reduce tax dollars to support education. When I see most of the applications for abatements, they're usually from those who do not have children in K-12 schools. Whether one has children in schools should not be the final determiner of whether we invest in our education system. Most children grow up to be adults, and those adults become citizens who will become employees or employers. I believe we need competent and skilled workers, and most gain knowledge in the formative years of schooling. In particular, Ashtabula Area City Schools has not passed a levy in quite some time. Whether one has faith in Ashtabula Area City Schools or not is not the issue. The issue is whether residents want to partner with the district, invest in children, and support education. I'm aware that many residents question, as do I, decisions made by the city school system. Rather than abandon them, why not collaborate and discuss how to improve them? Tax abatements approved at 100% primarily benefit individuals, not the community or our city as a whole. I will continue to vote no on this issue until a better, mutually beneficial way of advantaging all stakeholders is explored and instituted. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience would like to comment on any of these items? If not, we will have the reading of the legislation. Mrs. Bergen?
Resolution number 2023-80. Oh, whoops, sorry, that's an ordinance number 2023-80. We had some changes. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract in the amount of $42,420 with Rocky Road Paving for various street cut road restorations. Ordinance number 2023-81, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Xylem Water Solutions USA, Inc. as a sole source supplier for the service of UV systems at the water pollution control plant for the city of Ashtabula. Ordinance number 2023-82, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a community reinvestment area tax incentive agreement with Craig and Tracy Julian for tax abatement at 100% for 7 years for a secondary residential dwelling located at 1622 Walnut Boulevard, Ashtabula, Ohio, 44004. Resolution number 2023-83, a resolution in honor of the 2023 USS Ashtabula reunion held in Ashtabula County. Ordinance number 2023-84, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into memoranda of understanding approving amendments to the collective bargaining agreement between ASME Local 1197 and the City of Ashtabula to modify the position of engineering technician. Ordinance number 2023-85, an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the principal amount of $860,000 for the purpose of paying the costs of the acquisition of a ladder fire truck for the city fire department, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 2023-86, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a partnership with the County of Ashtabula to file an application with Ohio Development Services Agency to apply for Community Housing Impact and Preservation Program, CHIP, grant funds.
Thank you, Mrs. Bergen. Is it council's desire to handle tonight's legislation in consent agenda format?
So moved.
It is not mine.
Okay. Ms. Holman, I don't mean to speak for you, but you would like to have 2382 separated?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was wondering. Is it council's desire to handle tonight's agenda items 80, 81, 83, 84, 85, 80, and 86 in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Who moved? Ms. Holman moved? Thank you, Ms. Holman.
Second.
Ms. Holman moved and Ms. Foglio second. Thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will handle tonight's legislation with the exception of item 2382 in consent agenda format. All in favor? Oh, we already did, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, would you, can I have a motion to waive the reading of all that legislation?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by 6-0 vote. Is there a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? Mrs. Bergen, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo, Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes,
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills.
Yes.
thank you. And we will, the waiving of the reading of 2 readings has passed by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on the adoption.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo.
All those items of legislation have passed by a 6-0 vote. We now have ordinance 2382. Is there a motion to waive the reading of the legislation in its entirety?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor of waiving the entire reading?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 6-0 vote. Can I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Spielman. Is there any discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
No.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo, Mrs. Foglio.
Yes.
We will waive 2 readings by a 5-1 vote. Is there a motion to adopt, oh no, we will now vote on the adoption of that legislation.
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo, Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
No.
Mrs. Mills.
Yes.
And that item has passed by a 5-1 vote. I believe that concludes our legislative part of our agenda. Anything else from council legislatively? Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? We do have new business. We have a liquor license transfer. This is Ward 2. Harbor Lake Enterprises 2. An LLC doing business as a bar and restaurant. I think it's called Bridge Street Tavern, but we'll see. I know they had a contest on the computer, and you named it. They had a lot, so we'll see if that's what they end up with. But this is the old LA Cafe, so very nice that it's going to be used. It's one less vacant store down in Bridge Street is filling up, so that's good. Mr. Crawford, any concerns or?
No concern or
No
objections.
concerns? Okay, so we will not request a hearing on that item. Okay,
Mr. President?
yes,
Just make sure everybody remembers, I know it's been announced here several times, but this week starts Bands on the Beach. This Thursday night, In Cahoots is going to be playing from 7 to 9 p.m. So bring your lawn chair. The concession stand will be open, and we will be ready to roll for this year's events.
and that's this Thursday, right?
This Thursday, June 8th, yes.
So anybody who's in cahoots, maybe that's a good name for a band, in cahoots, huh? Okay. All right, very good. Anybody else have anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President, people
Yes.
might be aware, but just in case they aren't, I just want to remind folks that Jared Bunch is a former resident of Ashtabula, attended Ashtabula area city schools, a former New York Giants player, and Los Angeles Raider running back. He is hosting yet another free youth football camp for our residents. It will be June 25th at the Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio. It's fun and free for all those children who are interested in basic skills around football, but it's much more teamwork, persistence, athleticism, all that good stuff.
Good. And where's that at, Miss?
It's going to be at the Spire Institute
Oh,
in
Spire.
Geneva, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jared Bunch, yes. And we all know Mrs. Bunch. She's a great person, huh? Our next meeting will be on a Tuesday because Monday will be in June 19th, which is now a holiday. And I believe on June 16th, no, 18th, maybe 17th, I think there's the June celebration down at Lakeshore Park.
Juneteenth.
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 Celebrate, it's the 17th.
It's a Saturday.
And that'll be Saturday afternoon down Lakeshore Park. And this is their third annual, and it's getting bigger every year, so that's a nice thing. But next time our meeting will be on the 20th, and the holiday is called Juneteenth? Okay,
Yes, it
President?
commemorates freedom from slavery.
right, okay. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes,
There is the Ashtabula Art Center, if you go on their site, there is also, our library has, the library and the Ashtabula NAACP, Black History and Me Art and Writing Contest Reception, so that's on Saturday the 10th. The Hubbard House Underground Railroad Museum has free admission days Sunday and Monday, so that's the 18th and 19th, and they have a quilt trunk show on the 18th. Lakeshore Park has their celebration, and the Art Center has things, I think, through the whole month. They have a Freedoms Gained juried art show from the 5th to the 29th. They have dance and drum performance on the 24th, African dance, workshop on the 24th, so it seems like there's a lot of different things
Going on.
for celebrations, so.
Most of them are around the Juneteenth holiday.
And if you haven't had a chance to tour the Hubbard House, it's well worth it. It's really, I think, underappreciated asset in our city. It really is a good thing, yeah.
And Mr. President, I wonder if many residents actually know that it was the last terminus or the last stop before slaves went over to Canada for freedom. Interestingly enough, and ironically, there are quite a few in Ashtabula County, but Ashtabula City, Hubbard House, is the last one before they transferred across the seas to freedom. The lake.
Quite a thing. Okay, does anybody else have anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I have a few items, but I know school just got out, but GOCDC is working on, well, we are working on the back-to-school giveaway. So you can register from now till July 15th. So you have a month. The event is Saturday, August 5th. We are going to give away free book bags, socks, shirts, underclothing, free lunch, ice cream social. If you bring in an old book bag, you're entered into a drawing to receive one of many free bicycles or scooters. So there's a lot of bicycles there, and they're working with some local folks to, if anything is needed. So there's just a lot of stuff we have going on there. So, I mean, I know we just got out of school, but it'll be.
I was going to say, Miss Mills,
I know.
as a former school teacher, let me tell you.
I know, I was talking with Francis, director today, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, we're doing that.
I used to hate when the 4th of July would come, the week after, they'd have all the back-to-school ads. I'm thinking, what are you doing? It's the 4th of July. But anyway, thank you, Ms. Mills.
Christmas
for that.
displays will be up in stores soon.
Pretty soon.
No. I had a couple other things. Don't forget, we do have a special election this August 8th, Tuesday, August 8th. So your early voting will be, it's like that 30 days before then, so you can look at the Board of Elections website, but you know, there is a lot of information out that there is a special election. So a lot of times, if you don't get a newspaper or you're not keeping up with stuff, that is big news there. And then I did attend, I'm on the Access to Care committee. We meet at the county health department, and last month some things that we're working on is doing the new community needs assessment. So there's actually a website you can go on to right now, Healthy Northeast Ohio, and then there's drop downs for all the counties. You can click on Ashtabula, you can see our current needs assessment. So what we're actually doing helps health departments, hospitals, social service agencies, community stakeholders better understand the health needs and priorities of Ashtabula County. So I'm enjoying that. We meet again the end of June, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. But so you can go on that, click on that. You can just sort of browse around where we're at. You can compare other counties and see where we're at, and so we're working on goals to move forward to, I think things changed a lot in the pandemic about folks and their medical care. There's a lot of perceptions, what people missed and getting people back to get their care. Things are a little bit different with telehealth, looking at PCPs, you know, if people have those, or are they just, you know, using urgent cares different ways. So a lot going on. The new assessment hopefully will have out for the fall.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mrs. Mills.
Mr. President, and summertime's not summertime without the Our Lady of Peace Parish Mount Carmel Bazaar, which will be July 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Very good. Thank you. It's like 125 years or something.
Yes.
Like a long time.
I have something real fast too. So we had probably 30 girls from the Chalk Box compete at Cedar Point this weekend, at the AAU Gymnastics Regional Competition, and we had a slew of girls that did super well. So I've said it before, but our tiny little town, these girls can go and compete with some of the bigger communities and do very well. So we're quite proud of our gymnasts. And also after 43 years of renting the building, we now own the building. So my wife and I own a money pit on Main Avenue now. It's our money pit. So we are the proud owners of the Chalkbox building now, in addition to the business. So happy times.
There we go.
Thank you.
That was it.
it.
I bought a car there years ago.
Yes, congratulations.
About 50 years ago, I bought a car there, I think.
We've been paying rent since then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I see the girls did.
Yeah, they
I
did
see them
really
on
well.
the Facebook. They're doing really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anybody else? I usually like to mention a business, so tonight I'm going to mention Fooey Farms on Bridge Street. If you haven't been to Fooey Farms, let me tell you, they have more stuff down there. And if you want to get a cream puff like you used to get in the back of Carlisle's, you can go down there and get one of those cream puffs. Plus cannolis and all kinds of good stuff. So, and it's sort of new. They've just started this spring also. So it's okay if I mention them. So, anybody else? Would anybody in the audience like to address council? Please approach the podium, and we appreciate your patience. And share with us your name and your concerns.
Yes, my name is Melissa Cunningham, and I'm a full-time resident here. I live on Chestnut Avenue, and my concern is about the new housing ordinances and all the, I don't even know what, the citations that are going out. My concern is the fact that I got a citation for a vehicle my son was working on one day in the back of our driveway, not obstructing sidewalks or anything like that, and basically threatened that they're gonna tow my vehicle. When I called the office and talked to Kimberly, basically was told that I needed to have proof that the parts were ordered, and that if I didn't have that, then our car would be towed. My concern is this, is that it was on my own property, and I understand, you know, I've got to say that, Mr. Timonere, when you've come in, I came back to Ashtabula in 2003. I am military. I hold an associate's degree. I am not a drug addict. I am a resident that pays property taxes. We actually bought one of the properties in our neighborhood that was on the land sale to help better our community. I have worked very diligently in the community with the Ashtabula City Schools, being on PTO, and when the local schools were Chestnut Elementary, and on up to when the Lakeside banned. My concern is this, is the fact that I understand that we need to clean up our community, but also I think that the workers here need to remember that not everyone is drug addicts in downtown Ashtabula. We are homeowners that have chosen to live there for a reason. I moved into that neighborhood because my parents lived in that neighborhood and my mom had cancer. That is why I chose, we bought the house. It was a 3 apartment that we turned back into a 1 family. Down the street on Chestnut, there is a vehicle that has been there over a year with a flat tire, and it's still there. But I'm being harassed for 1 day of a vehicle being in the back of my driveway, not obstructing anything, and basically treated like I'm white trash. My neighbors feel that way too. And it's very sad. We are very frustrated. We are working on our homes. We have limited incomes. And as a veteran, a military veteran, I was very insulted by the actions of of city workers. It was very offensive. At the time when the person approached me, I was on the phone with the Attorney General's office talking about a different matter, and I told him that I would talk to him, I would handle this when I was off the phone. And he started yelling at me. So I think that, and I think it's great, I heard during council that police officer is going up and down Main Avenue. That's wonderful. We want our neighborhood to be safer. But at the same time, why are some people being targeted and others aren't? Why am I being criticized for a vehicle that is being worked on when there's cars sitting on the same street, flat tire for a whole year or more?
I don't know all the specifics, but I can say sometimes these things, you reference a car with a flat tire, because sometimes these things take a long time to work their way through the system. That person, and I don't know, I'm just guessing, they might have been cited, and they might have been cited to court, and they might have been somewhere along the process. And sometimes people know how to delay the process. I know we had a house in another part of town. It took a long time to get them to court, and then when they got to court, the guy just said, okay, well, just find me or do whatever. So I'm not sure all the specifics in your neighborhood, but somewhere along the spectrum, I'm sure that car has been dealt with or referred to. Jim, you want to add?
Mr. President, yeah, I mean, I will look into this particular situation. I'll get your address after the meeting here, but my guess is we received a call or a complaint. 90% of the stuff we do, as all of you know, is somebody called us and said, hey, there's a junk car at a particular address, and we went and investigated it. If the car is inoperable, or if it doesn't have the license up to date, the plate sticker up to date, I'm just telling you reasons that we might cite it. I'm not sure if the one, I would imagine the one that if it's been there a year, it's probably been cited, or it might have been cited on the same day that yours was cited. We might have been in the area doing code enforcement. We do code enforcement all through the city. This is not selective. It is not targeting. It is not 90, as most of council knows, because they send me those complaints. Most of what we do is complaint driven. The other, what we do is what we observe as we're driving around. And we do understand that people may not have the income or the means to fix things right away. And we work with people constantly. If it's painting a house, as long as we see progress going on, we'll extend timelines and deadlines. So we do understand that, and we do work with people. However, we do, as you mentioned, have a city to clean up. So we have to do our job, code enforcement. We cannot pick and choose and say, well, we'll do this car, but we're not going to do that car. It is not something that we try to pick and choose and do. So I will get your information after the meeting, and I will follow up with you when I get the report from the staff.
Okay.
Okay.
And that is my biggest concern, because it seems like that because the person, it's the dog warden that is driving down our street, stopping, looking, writing stuff down, and has been repeatedly down our street when we've, the city just got the house on 50th and Chestnut, got them to board up that house after 3 years. And so my frustration, and one day my car was sitting in my drive. One day. And then to be basically treated, basically told that I had to have proof that I was fixing it. And I basically said, am I a liar? And I'm just saying, I'm just cautioning that just because I live in downtown doesn't mean that I'm not educated, that I'm not aware of. I watch your meetings, every meeting. So I know what's going on in the city. I understand you're trying to clean it up. But at the same time, they need to be aware that, I pay my taxes. I am up to date on everything. And I don't appreciate at all your city workers, your city officials I don't appreciate being treated like white trash. Like I'm beneath everybody. Because I've had police officers when our garage got broken into, well, just don't live in this neighborhood. You shouldn't live here. That was their excuse. I live in that neighborhood because I believe in this community and because I'm trying to help clean it up. Not any other reason. I could leave here. I have no more ties here. I can leave Ashtabula, and that's what a lot of people are doing. All my children have left because of how they're treated. And I want to thank council for allowing me to talk, and that, you know, I do see progress, and I've seen a lot of things since I've been here in 2003. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you talking with us. Anyone else this evening? All right, seeing no one, then just a reminder, our next meeting will be Tuesday, June the 20th. And have a safe couple of weeks and enjoy the nice weather in the summer. Like I said, Ashtabula, we're pretty good in the summer. We shine all year, but especially in the summer. So, all right, everybody have a good night.